Spud.
Tommie?
You're 40. Did you change your inner world? Had you some sort of awakening experience? Well, was it like, did you wake up when you're 40 and go, oh, hold on, that's what it's all about? That happened to you?
No. I got woken up with 2 Milka bars and the big ones.
Oh, nice.
Some booze, and that's okay. That means I've done fairly well in life. I got chocolate and alcohol for a birthday. That's all right. People like me.
I had a Black Forest Gatto for my 40th.
Oh, not bad.
Do you like Black Forest Gatto? That's a test of whether we can be friends or not. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, there can't be people out there that don't like Black Forest Gatto.
Yeah, it's few and far between. But like when you go, something wrong with this fella. No.
Yeah, you can buy the bottle because you can't buy the liqueur over in Ireland, can you? What's it called? Kirsch.
Never heard of it, so obviously not.
It's a dark, the dark cherry liqueur. Oh man, it's unbelievable.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I love cherries. Yeah. Oh,
and it's not strong as well. It's like for one of those liqueur 20-16%.
Oh, like the limoncello, whatever that's called, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, limoncello's good. I made limoncello here one time. It's grand. Yeah, but it's basically you're drinking sugar, just a lot of sugar, and a couple of lemons,
Yeah. It's good for you. It's the lemons.
40. I don't know. I mean, like, people are asking me, is it any different? Do you feel different? No. I don't know. Maybe something's going to happen and I'm just a week late because I was born premature. Been premature ever since. But I don't know. I don't feel that. It's grand. It's whatever. Sure, I'm happy out. I'm way happier. I was in my 20s, but I was happier in my 30s than in my 20s.
Yeah, I was happier in my 20s than my
teens. Mm-hmm. So
it'd be worse if you look back and I'd like the physicalness of when you're 20 and you don't go, when you stand up to make coffee, you don't go, oh, whatever. That I'd be into that. But imagine hanging out with 20-year-olds. Jesus Christ. No.
How could you listen to them with their opinions about childish things? Oh, did you see Nicki Minaj? What the fuck are you talking about? Who gives a fuck about what some rapper says? What the fuck is wrong with you? Go read some fucking Aristotle. Not Aristotle. People don't like Aristotle. Plato. But people don't like Plato. Go read Kingsley and be miserable. That's what you do. Yeah. Join me. Be 40 and miserable. Read Kingsley. Yeah. End of the world.
That's Ben Kingsley, obviously, you're talking about.
No, but you know what? I think young people are fucking great, man. I don't get this thing about older people looking down at them. Because I think young people are so fucking smarter than we were. If we just kind of gave them a little bit more power than having old fogies running countries, then I think the world would be a better place. But anyway.
I definitely think there should be an age limit on politicians. I don't think 80-year-old men should be allowed to rule the world, considering it's not their world. The decisions they're making aren't going to affect their future. So.
I mean, why do we make people retire at 65, 67, but then they're allowed run countries into the ground?
Well, the reason is that because when they brought pensions in and retiring at 65 is the average age of life was 67. So you got 2 years of sitting outside your house complaining about the weather before you died.
But it must be a lot bigger than that now. Jeez, people
it is.
live here for
ages. That's why they're trying to move it to retirement age to 70. So, but of course, by the time we retire, there's there'll be no earth left because it'll be scorched and it'll be all Mad Max. So, I mean, it's fine. Don't worry about that. We'll have other challenges than we'll have more challenges than worrying about pensions and retirements.
I don't know, because it would be awful if someone comes along and they're like, yeah, look, all those people born 1 year before you get to retire 65, but you have to go till you're 70. But just like, I'm hanging off the end of a rope. I don't know.
I've no real kind of want to retire. Well, I mean, I know what am I, 44, so I mean, I might change my mind in 20 years.
Though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you're not working in KPMG fucking on what do they do? Excel sheets or money? I have no idea. It just came into my head. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Sell things to people that don't want them, I presume.
People who retire and don't have a hobby are the ones who die very quickly. Because you don't have a reason, I suppose, to hang around or whatever. That you need to keep active. And you need not in the kind of, but you need to have some passion, some drive, which is why people take up the golf and gardening or whatever.
So what if you're listening to fundamentalist Catholic radio? Can you make that a hobby?
People seem to it seems to be something that they do as a side hustle. It's definitely seems to be the resurgence of that over the last while. But maybe not that. Maybe, at least pick a more interesting religion that has a bit more love in it or whatever. Or, be a proper fundamentalist Christian and actually love your neighbour and, follow in the footsteps of Jesus rather than,
Yeah, no, that's not happening. Yeah, you saw my running people, with some fundamentalists last week.
Give it, okay. You see, the problem was, Spud, is that you got your facts wrong. And
I got my maths wrong, didn't I? I got my maths wrong.
So don't explain to people who, aren't actually...
No, I don't really. Jonathan Pageau's fans were attacking me for about a week after I tweeted Jonathan Pageau showing him that he's an arsehole. Which, he obviously is an arsehole. If you don't know that, then you're probably an arsehole too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a horrible person, and basically he put out a thing just to prove that he's a really bad human being, saying that he would rather people die than install an app on his phone because he's just a bad human. Jonathan Pageau.
Good Christian, good Christian.
Let me just say, Jonathan Pageau is a bad person, okay?
Hold on, Spud, don't beat right the bush. Just tell us how you feel.
Also, I know that there are plenty of new listeners who are following me on Twitter who will be tuning in now, and they're here because of Jonathan Pageau. So I will reiterate, he's a bad person. And you are a neckbeard incel, okay? That's what you are. Yeah. And his neckbeards came after me, man. Fuck it, they memed me. They fucking memed me. How mad is that? How much of a loser do you have to be to meme a loser like me? What the fuck is wrong with you? Go and have a look at your life.
I noticed it was straight away to go, but in Poland to go, just they're doing some research in this, man. They knew you were in Poland really quick.
Jesus, what's wrong with people? And okay, I got me maths wrong. I went at Pageau just to show him you'd rather I got it wrong. I said you'd rather 7.8 million people died and put an app on your phone. And you know what? He didn't say anything about the maths.
No.
Because I think his maths was wrong on it too.
Okay.
Right? So anyway, let's say it's not 7.8 million people. Let's say it's whatever 10% of that is 0.78 million.
7.8 million.
That's still a lot of people. And if someone announced that there's 0.78 million people going to die worldwide, or you can all put an app on your phone, I think I'd put the fucking app on my phone.
But it's not even the death stuff as well. It's it's the people still get sick. So people, just the long COVID. Just people have long term kind of stuff coming out of this, and there's the economical thing. I don't mean from lockdown, but from actually not being able to work, all of that kind of. There's more than just, the death that's involved in the pandemic.
It's just a horrible viewpoint to be I'm not doing something because censorship and people knowing where I am all the time. Shut the fuck up. You're tweeting this off a phone. Shut the fuck up.
I know, yeah.
Know what I mean?
That's it, yeah.
What the heck? Do you know anything? Do you actually know anything? Or are you just pandering? Which I think that's what he's doing. He has his fan base now, and he knows that if he just regurgitates the same crap that they even did you see fucking Peterson yesterday about that woman's dress? What's her name? The American politician. She's
liberal. I wasn't following.
She's always going to, she's like Bernie Sanders. She's always going to tax the AOC, whatever the hell her actual name is. Yeah. So she wore this dress to some ball, and it was 35,000 for the ticket or something for the dinner or something.
Yeah,
anyway.
Was Peterson giving out about it, was he?
Peterson was saying there's a reason that the lettering looks like it's written in blood.
Oh, right. Billibus. Jordan.
What a wonderful contribution you are making to society. Do you reckon he stayed up late trying to think of the symbolism of that? Because you take one look at that and it immediately looks it's written in blood.
Yeah.
Wow, Jordan. Wow.
Yeah,
maybe you're the first person who noticed that. Maybe you are, Jonathan. Maybe you are. I wonder how does that relate to Cain and Abel, Jordan? Can you tell us? Because you love to bat that fucking horse to death, don't you? What would that mean in Bible symbology? Or maybe you'll do a podcast with Jonathan, and again, you'll talk about a woman's dress and how dare she choose to wear a dress that has a political message on it.
You're a bit worked up today, Spud.
40, Tommie. 40. This is what happens. Is this what happens? I should be in great form.
Yeah, you should sit on your porch going, politicians and people on the internet.
And I was just, but what worked well against these incel lads was that I would turn around and I would use, because they were all Orthodox lads, I turned around and I would tweet back to them the Jesus prayer, which is that the Orthodox mystics chant when they're looking to talk to God. and then just say, look, I just want peace and love for everyone, and I'll pray for you, and you say a prayer for me, and that's it. And they
in fairness, a couple of them did, but like, did say, right, cool, like that, like I will like that, but
because I totally messed up with the maths, but then once I realised I messed up, and hands up, sorry, I got that wrong. But still, like he would rather people die than put an app on his phone. I'm not the baddie here, lads. I'm really not the baddie. You know,
you see, but that's
when you have a fan base. The fan bases are weird. They really are. Like, it's just like you see, like the way people are just addicted to like anything. Like, say the big one, like Rogan. Like he says something and they just go with it. Why can't you just ask yourself, like, maybe I might look into that myself. Like, I don't. Not that I don't get that mindset. I get that mindset, but it's hard for me to understand it. You know,
it's hard for me to understand it, given that I've done it. And it doesn't lead out particularly well for you now, because you realise, this wasn't true, or you end up in some part in some way, and so the next time it's harder for you to believe people the next time. So I think it just could be a case of that, they need to be disillusioned a couple of times to realise that's not the way to do it. Because you're from an early age, you're moulded to believe authority, and whoever has the. Who's the most popular? They're the kind of custodians of truth. You know what I mean? And also, Joe's in a kind of a very cool situation for him, in that he is like the most mainstream alternative person in the world. You know what I mean? Like he's super popular, which makes him mainstream, but also alternative because is he? I don't know anymore. But people latch on to the stuff he says, whatever. But he also said equally, don't listen to me, I'm a fucking donkey, or whatever is his thing. I haven't a clue what I'm on about. But at the same time, the next thing is, I'm saying this and he's very serious and wants to be believed. And I don't know. I can understand why people. It's because there's so much information and there's so many different sides and there's so many different things that there's this barrage of facts from all sides, where you can read something, go, all right, okay, and then literally 2 minutes later read the complete opposite, and it's equally a good case, and you go, I have no idea what to believe about any of this stuff. So you kind of have to then latch on to what someone who might be in the know more than me, someone who's around people who talk to, might have a better idea. So I'm just going to believe what Joe says, or I'm just going to believe what Biden says, or how do you pronounce Fauci? Is that or whatever it is? Like it's and I understand it, because it's too. There's too much. There's too much, and we're meant to be medical experts and do all that. Do your own research. Well, we're also meant to be financial experts. You have to sort out your whole life. We have to be the best parents. We have to work all that out. And it's just like everything. You just have to be perfect, or you have to know everything these days. It's just like, what's your opinion on this? I don't have an opinion. No, you have to have an opinion. I mean, you have to have an opinion on toast. Come on, Jesus Christ. Everyone has to. What's your opinion on toast? Come on. I can't leave me alone. I'm trying to deal with my life.
Brown toast. Oh my God, you're one of them.
Oh, you have white bread. Oh no, it's whole grain. It's only whole grain. Did you not get that memo? I haven't got an email about that. Sorry.
Then all the hipsters are there. It's sourdough. I only like sourdough. And vegan butter.
I like sourdough.
Is there such a thing as vegan butter?
There is. Yeah. There is. Yeah.
What's it made of? Margarine.
Well, margarine. Like oil. Oil. It's like an awful lot of butter is vegan butter, because there's no actual dairy products in it. But like any of the margarine. Well, margarine, that what we call margarine isn't margarine. Margarine's a very specific product that they're not allowed to sell anymore, because it's not good. But hydrogenated oils and vegetable fats and smashed up potato, all that starches and all that kind of stuff.
I feel like eating it now.
Yeah. But there's into some of the better vegan foods that's coming out now, though. You have because an awful lot of vegan and vegetarian food is just processed rubbish that looks
soya
looks like something, or not even that. Like you get stuff that's pea protein, hemp protein, but it's all seriously processed food that looks like food but isn't actually food. But there seems to be a bit of a turn in that people are kind of copping on. Well, I wanted to be vegan or vegetarian for health reasons, say that type of thing.
Why am I getting fatter?
Why am I getting fatter? Why is my skin a disaster? Why am I severely depressed? So you to kind of have to look then to like a healthier options, because ultimately it's just eat food. What is it?
Okay,
food.
What is it exactly about processed food that makes it so bad? Because if it's just, say for example, a sausage,
Yeah.
Sausages over here are much better than in Ireland, because in Ireland I think you're allowed to put bread and stuff in them. But anyway, so over here it's meat, spices, garlic, salt and pepper. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is it in the process that makes it so bad for you? Because you could just have those things at home and make them in dinner.
But in that case, it's not. That's not really in the like, it's slightly processed, but it's not processed in the way, like, say, a chicken McNugget is processed with, half of it isn't actually chicken, and it's ground up. You know that Jamie Oliver video where he grinds up all the really bad stuff and kids still want it, like that kind of, it's disgusting. But it's like, it's, when you take, like, say something like corn is made from a mushroom, but like, or some sort of fungi or whatever, it's a long way away from being a mushroom by the time you're eating a corn sausage. You know what I mean? It's a lot has been done to it, but like, they get to say mushroom or whatever it is, micro protein as their.
You mushroom picking yet? You're going to the forest a lot. Have you? Must have a couple.
Yes, I've seen a few, but I thought I had turkey of the woods, but it wasn't, which would have been nice. But I'd love to get to the chicken of the woods. I've seen it one time and I wasn't brave enough to eat it because I think it was a few days too late in it. But it's meant to be just the business now. But you get a good bit of the turkey stuff can only grow on dead logs, isn't it? You get a good bit of that over here. But it's not meant to be nice, though. It's supposed to be more medicinal than but it's edible. Yeah, the chicken of the woods is meant to be the job. But the purple ones are all coming up. What are they called? The purple, the violet. Oh, I can't remember. They're class. They look really nice. But of course, to kill you, don't eat them.
There's one over here. What's it called? Purple Defender. Is that
that's it. That's
to eat them.
Yeah, they're lovely. They're really nice, aesthetically.
Ireland, you can't eat them here.
Yeah, don't eat them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They look nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they look savage. But you're not supposed to eat them because the pine that they grow under, they can have arsenic in them.
Oh right.
There's what they call. Yeah, I was looking up because we cut down a couple of trees there, and you can buy them little pellets with the mycelium in them. Mycelium.
Oh yeah.
And but you need to have certain other trees kind of growing around as well. And I don't have any that would make it grow.
It's 5 years as well, isn't it, before they have to start doing it?
Yeah, it takes a while as well. But cool. But like we'll probably go off next week because we were told it's a secret. All right, the best time for mushroom picking is when there's a full moon. Don't tell anyone.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
And so we'll probably go off on Monday or Tuesday and do some, because there's mad over here. There's just, and I even found little chanterelles the other day. I'd never ever seen them before. I had 4 or something. I was like, but like all those other big ones that turn blue when you cut them, loads of them. And it's a national. It's one of their national hobbies over here. You just see loads of people walking into the forest on weekend with their wicker baskets.
Do you get much those puff balls? They're gorgeous. Them.
Yeah, they're really puff balls. But they don't really eat them.
You have to break them open before you cook them because things can live inside them. So you have to break them to cook them if anyone wants to. It's also, of course, magic mushroom season here. I've never found out.
No idea what you're talking about. Never heard of them. Never.
Yeah, but what's the ones who get Liberty caps?
Liberty caps.
It's not illegal to talk about them. It's just illegal to take them out of a field and put them in a bag. Isn't it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's illegal to pick them out of your own field and put them in a bag that you own and take them into your house and
certainly dry them.
Growing off your land.
Yeah. But I used to know places in the town I grew up in, but there are shopping centres now, so I've no idea around here. Like, there's plenty of places where they should grow around here and they just don't, so I assume it just doesn't happen around here, or there's some young fella around here who knows all the spots and gets in straight away. Golf courses are good in Ireland and anywhere where there's been sheep. Yeah. There you are, lads. Yeah. So there is one. I don't know why particularly golf courses, but it's just probably well manicured, looked after place or something. It's something to do with it as well that you need I'll tell you why golf courses. I've worked it out in my head. For them to come up, you need a rain. So they need a sprinkle of rain or whatever comes. So if golf courses are getting done every day and the heat to the rain, that's probably what it is then.
Brilliant.
That's probably not the real answer, but I'm happy enough with that as an answer. That's fine.
We'll be talking about them later for the film anyway. Tell us about want to do the Four Devils or the Saint Novena?
I don't mind. We can do both anyway. The Saint Novena is starting.
No, but do people know what you're doing with the Four Devils? That's what I'm asking.
They're doing Patreon, yeah. They don't on the general public, but we can talk about it and make it an exclusive to TaSTA. Yeah, so the Saint thing is starting. What day is it? Wednesday, tomorrow, which is the 16th. It's kind of it's based on the kind of novena of Saint Cyprian, which is
his thing soon, isn't it? When is that? It is tomorrow.
Well, you see, there's two. Well, it's the Cyprian of Carthage tomorrow, which is not the Cyprian, the magic guy. He's the Christian thing, but his actual real one is at the end, so it's the 25th. Is that right? Yes, so 9 days after. That's Cyprian of Antioch's feast day. Of course, it's not real because he's he's not a saint anymore. He got rid of him. He is, as far as I know, he is still a saint in the Orthodox Church, though. But he's not in the one that the Pope owns.
How does that work? Like you're up there in the cosmos, and you're like getting blowjobs off angels and all that kind of stuff. And
and then sorry, this has to stop. We've looked at your papers. No.
Saint Peter, the fucking big civil servant, comes along and is like, sorry, man. Yeah. I don't make the rules. I don't even like the rules, but I just work here. And it's like, you're a fucking suit, man. What the fuck?
Is it Saint Columbus, wasn't it? Columbus.
Saint Christopher, wasn't it?
Saint Christopher, that's what it is. Yeah. He's no longer.
Apparently he was demoted, but not in Ireland. Everyone has a medal of him.
Eddie Izzard says, because he always has the child on a soldier, on his shoulder. Yeah.
Child soldier.
Eddie Izzard reckons he must have been fiddling with the kids, and he was kind of it was a hush hush. You just have to lose your job, but you won't go to jail. So
what's
tomorrow
his name is dead. You see that? Norm Macdonald died there last night.
I've seen that. Yeah,
he had a great thing about cancer. Did you know that?
No.
It was something like, people say cancer beat you. I don't know. I mean, I'd call that a draw. You both died. It's not like the cancer's going to come back and fuck your wife.
I don't know, man. Some severe cancers.
He was a great fella he was just so good at bad jokes. Like, if anyone else told a Norm Macdonald joke, it's not funny.
There's a few comedians who are like that
but he just has this deadpan way of telling terrible jokes, but just making them absolutely hilarious. Anyway, cool guy. Sorry, go back to your saint.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the Cyprian of Carthage, his feast day. So it's kind of
which one is Romania now? Which one is which?
In the one in that I went to see, it's Antioch. Yeah, it's the actual, because
he's the magic guy, right?
Yeah, that's an Orthodox church that I went to. That's cool. You should go there at some point. Although Bera on Discord was saying it's actually closed at the minute, and not for COVID, for some sort of restoration or something. But yeah, so tomorrow. See, the problem is most people start the novena tomorrow, and I've to fall and pray for this, because as far as I know, in Chaos Protocols, Gordon White's books, he talks about it starting tomorrow. Of course, if you start tomorrow and then go to the 25th, that's 10 days, and that's not novena. The clue's in the name. So tomorrow's kind of seen as get a preparation day, get it together what you want. And so with the Days of the Saint, which is basically stealing that entire novena from Saint Cyprian and applying it to the Saint from the 47th, who's a kind of somewhat of an analogue of Cyprian anyway. So it's to, obviously in a sense to return some sort of praise or offerings or attention to him, but also to have a very distinct desire that you want to manifest, or as something you want help with, or something, like an insight. The saint, in a sense, is to do with intercession and allowing, so it's rather than go closer to God, right? So if you put in a good word for me, God's more likely to listen to you than he is to me. That's the whole point of saints. That's the intercession thing. So it's that he has the ear of the divine more than you have. So it's every day, it's offerings, it's reaffirming your intention, all this thing, and we do it through a kind of a group ritual thing on Patreon. And the last day is a feast day where you literally have a party in the honour of Cyprian or the saint, whatever way you want to look at it.
And so what? So you just it's more about keeping the idea of this kind of archetype of a saint, or do you or can people pick a certain saint or
oh well, no, but it's I would somewhat either say, well, do whatever you want, obviously, but I would stick with like either Cyprian as your target or the saint, because this is the time of year for that. It's this is the novena time, and I mean, you can do a novena to any saint at any time, but given that it's very specifically between these two kind of feast days, and there's seems to be a good track, it's a good time to kind of concentrate on that. But we do it through Patreon and people, the group thing. But I mean, obviously, anyone can do this. Just do it yourself or whatever. Like it's not. I've no exclusive rights to this or anything. But it just the kind of cool offering that they did when I was in Romania was they had like a wee kind of, like a soup bread, and they put a candle in it, and that was the offering. That was the kind of, and supposedly that's something that this happens an awful lot in the kind of Orthodox church that I've never come across. But that can be a decent offering. Rum obviously is another good offering for any of these things, or you could just light a candle. But I kind of like the idea of having a focused 9-day. I've something I want to achieve. Let's try and have rather than just kind of I suppose a kind of a vague sigil. More sex, please. Or whatever it is. Have something. Or again, use it. If you're so inclined that you want to get more, improve a relationship with Cyprian, as an awful lot of magicians and occultists, want to, with an actual aspect of divinity, that could be you're just going, I want to know more. I want more contact. Blah blah blah. All depends on what you look at it, what you think it is. So.
Do you know much about the tradition of novenas?
Other than their 9 days, and at one stage I did know about it, like I can't remember. So do you?
But did it start? No, because I'm only asking because remember something came up a while ago about. It was said that Saint Dominic came up with the Hail Mary, but it wasn't him. It came later. Yeah. But were there novenas around before her? Like, sorry, not before Virgin Mary, but before because your novenas, obviously you say the Hail Mary, a million times or whatever. Yeah. Were there anything? Was there a kind of?
I don't know.
Way of praying?
The big one that the novena in where I'm from was the St. Gerard Magella. His novena, that's huge in this kind of area, and that was like that's how I know the name novena, if you want, is from that. But I don't know.
But what is it? So it's okay. So that one then, what's the name? Gerard of what?
St. Gerard Magella. Yeah.
Gerard
so
Magella.
He would be a healer. So it would be, you give an awful lot of sick kids and people, and they go and do this 9 and like it's hugely popular. Like it's like the church when that happens are stuffed, and there'll be like there's 2 churches in Dundalk that do it, and well, last time I was there, I don't know, it's been a while, so maybe it's not quite, but it's a big event, and everyone goes around with the sticky thing in the back of their car for the 9 days, and it's a bit, and all the shops open outside the church and selling
plastic little,
because historically Jesus was all right with that. He liked people doing that. He never had a reaction to that. So
at the thing, then what happens? Is it just people going? Is there like a decade of the rosary led by a priest or a lay person, and then is that?
No, it's an actual mass. So you do it. I think in that one you go to mass in honor of St. Gerard Magella, and you go every day, and some people go twice a day.
Okay. No, because it's just in my head because of novenas. I remember I was writing about it on one of the Saint article that we used to pray for this. Schoolmate of my brother's did cancer, and it was novena. We did all of the. Oh, what was it? Isn't there 3 sets of 5 decades of the rosaries? Isn't that the way it's done?
Yeah. So your rosary beads, beads has 5 things, and you do it 3 times.
Yeah. So we would do it one time because it was only 10 or 15 minutes we'd go to the church for. But in my head it's. A novena is kind of like a chant where you do it over and over again, because that's what it turns into.
Well, the novena aspect of it is that you do something every day for 9 days. That's strictly what the novena is. Be that praying, chanting, or the decade of the rosary, or whatever it is. So it would be more that you take it on yourself, the kind of oath or the pledge that I'm going to do this, and for 9 days, rather than just going to a church randomly whenever you want to pray for who your friend is. That it's a kind of you make a commitment. That's the word my brain was looking for. Yeah.
So who will you have in your mind then as a saint, like when you're doing it?
Oh, well, it'll be the Saint from 470. It'll be Cyprian. Yeah, you won't be able to see it, but I have him set up on my altar already. Yeah. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Cyprian and did the whole kind of pilgrimage to his see his hand. Oh, that was a wonderful experience and all that. But yeah, he doesn't seem to give a shit about me, to be honest. Like he doesn't in the way that like when I kind of got into Ganesha, whatever you want to pronounce it, it's Ganesha in my head. He immediately just turned up and yeah, cool, here I am. That and you're fine. But I never had any kind of. And I mean, I have every single Saint Cyprian book you can buy on and it's not that I didn't try because he's big news at one point, and it was kind of seen that he was your patron saint of magicians and he was a guy to get it on, but yeah, just didn't care. But it's, I like it as a kind of a connection between, I suppose, in one sense, old Tommie, his kind of Christian roots and the magic thing, and also having a focus for 9 days. I kind of like, as people might know, I like doing like little kind of challenges or pledges or commitments to, rather than just kind of having it as a random. But there's loads of things you could be doing. Like the whole year is full of different,
of course,
types you could be doing.
What's kind of coming to my head is that what's her name in Spain, the mystic. Jesus, top of my tongue. I remember in the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown was writing about how obvious it was images of sex, because she would be in ecstasy as the angel was lancing her with his spear. I was like, all right, man.
All right, yeah. It's a bit on the nose. Calm down.
What the fuck is her name? It's not Saint Anne. There's no one in Spain called Anne, is there? Anna.
Well, there definitely is a Saint Anne.
That sounds. Spanish saint, mystic saint. What the fuck is her name? Spanish mystics. This is going to be a million people now. Is it Teresa? Yeah, Saint Teresa. Yeah.
Teresa of Avalon, not Avalon. Why don't
Avalon.
Yeah.
Yeah. OCD apparently. She had OCD. It says Saint Teresa of Avila. OCD. She had OCD. I didn't. They had OCD back then.
Is that the one we talked to? Is it?
That's the thing. No, we were talking to a lady from Belgium.
Oh, right. Okay,
yes, John the Cross. Remember, I tell you, I was reading about the two of them. He knew her.
Right.
And, that's what it was. I was telling you that, like, I think he would do the confessions for her. And he used to slag her off saying, you make up the greatest excuses for your sins. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's great. Yeah, two saints just fucking pulling the piss out of each other. But I suppose you don't know you're a saint when you're alive. Or do you? That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
I'd say Padre Pio knew
Padre Pio probably fucking knew, didn't he? But he had that smarmy head on him. But like, you've told me loads about him. Like, he's not cool.
Well, I've read one book that was very revealing. It's the only book that you'll find that actually has any kind of historical research done on it. But yeah, he's chancer of the highest order, that fella. But like, he'd be a really good chaos magic saint, Padre Pio, because he's like completely and utterly fake, but has become an absolute cult and works. And I mean, people are absolutely cured by Padre Pio to this day. Like, I mean, and the glove goes around. Like, I mean, I've seen one of the gloves and all the relics, and there's people swear by them, and more than just swear by them, like have had, miraculous healings from it. It is crazy, yeah. It's absolutely crazy.
It's mad that it works like that. St. Teresa, Calcutta one, she's another one who, she probably knew. She was playing all the right cards, but it turns out like she was
bad news.
Not a good person. No,
definitely
just
not.
letting people die because, no, pain is good. No, you should be in pain. This is God's way of telling you he loves you. What?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? God loves me by I heart? No.
Yeah, that's good,
and then she just
good
covers
Catholic.
your mouth with a pillow and just holds you down. 83 years of frailness.
Yeah. Allegedly, may not have actually happened in quite that manner.
Said Teresa can't sue me.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a foundation, and I'm sure there's PR people, and I'm sure there's plenty of ways that Mother
JP
Teresa.
as well. JP was made a saint fairly quickly. There are some miracles given to him. He's supposed to have cured, or I don't think people went to him to be cured, but it's just that sick people met him, and apparently they were cured by him or something. But like he did,
and he also ended communism, didn't he? Like he gets.
Yeah, Margaret Thatcher as well. Him and Maggie Thatcher ended communism. Maggie Thatcher was a big hero over here until, and I try and put as many people as I can in their place when that comes up. But he canonised everyone. He was just willy-nilly with the saints. Just, make them a saint, make them a saint, make them a saint, make them a saint. That guy sounds cool. Yeah,
that's obviously why it's like, when the new president comes in and immediately rescinds all the previous things. That's obviously what happened when the Palpatine came in after him. He went, no, half these saints are going. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there was a frosty meeting between Francis and your man Orban in Hungary there last week.
All right.
Because Orban's so anti-immigrant, he hates anyone who isn't Hungarian. And while like Pope Francis is there, more immigrants, please, more immigrants. So we need more immigrants, And Orban is there going,
more love, please. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that sounds good, man. The Saint Novena, interesting. So what made you come up with it then?
Well, I didn't come up with it. It's an actual thing. This Novena to Saint Cyprian. I just stole it to tie it in with the saint from the 47th.
Okay, so that's why.
Yeah. So if you want to do it as the group thing, you can join Patreon. If you want to do it yourself, just do it yourself. And there is in Case Protocols, there's a whole section on it. If people want to do further reading on it, so. Yeah, I suppose Gordon Mile was one of the main champions.
Is it always the way that you start the 9 days before their feast day, or there's probably no point in starting on it and then? I'm
not sure. To be honest, that's a good question. I think it probably would make sense, right? That is, if you start, but I mean, you could do a novena at any point you want, really. But it probably is 9 days up to the official, the time of it. That's I must check that out. It's is that how to get the St. Gerard Magellan's, is that the week because it leads to his thing? Well, because the last day is a feast day, so it has to be. Yeah, it has to be. You're right. Long joke. Yeah, you're right.
What was it? Because I was messing around on the Saint Fintan, give him his proper name, the local saint where I'm from, and at the bottom of it, there's a thing of categories on the Wikipedia page. It'll bring you to. They have a portal of only saints.
All right.
And that's a great time sink. Just like finding these weird saints who did fucking really weird things. And just go, wow, how are you a saint? How did you do? You don't deserve this.
Yeah. But why are you patron saints of pigs and spiders? What? There's a story there. There's definitely a story there.
There's a good one because I've been looking at your man, my fella, and there's stories of him. He was able to turn. It's a funny thing. Like they must have been trying to big him up kind of thing and give him more stories after he died, because like there's stories of him turning water into wine basically for the crack, because like there was some monks in his service. What would that be? He was the abbot, they'd be in his care, I don't know. And these are our lads who were on the way out, but they had taken a vow of fasting to try and live a bit longer, like, and to be nice to him, he's like, well, so they'd only drink water and eat bread, but because Saint Fintan was so sound, he'd be like, yeah, man, it's not water.
Nice, yeah.
I gotcha, and
Saint Fintan.
But like that's obviously a Jesus thing, you know what I mean? Like he just took Jesus's wedding of Cana thing and says, let's give this to this fella because sure.
Well, that was the big thing with saints, isn't it? That it's the hagiography or whatever is the bigging up after. Making them more spectacular or more, because you have to. You have two miracles. You have to have and something else to be a saint. You can't just.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
You can't just be cool or have done good works. You have to have proven miracles.
Right.
Fair enough. So I suppose how
do we scam this, Tommie? Let's try and do some miracles, man.
I can turn
Spud of Poland.
I can turn wine into urine pretty miraculously. I can do that in the band as well. If anyone wants to get me into scientific laboratory, and I prove that under scientific conditions, it's no problem.
How do we become saints? That'd be fucking kick ass, wouldn't it?
Well, they usually end up dead or something horrible happens to them, or
they end up dead anyway. But like people,
in a bad way, like burnt.
Saint Spud of the bullshit.
I don't know, just get assaulted on Twitter. Maybe that's you and that. Oh yes, and he was burnt at the stake on Twitter. And yeah, since Spud, what happened? Yeah, he got cancelled. Yeah, he got cancelled. Yeah,
he got cancelled. Yeah. Neckbeards fucking ganged up against him. All the 4chan fucking, I don't know what the fuck is.
Oh, I'm watching actually. Now you say 4chan. I'm watching that HBO thing on the Q conspiracy thing or whatever. It's really good. It's a 6-part, 8-part. Yeah, and it goes to behind the scenes of the guys from 8chan and 4chan and all that. It's an interesting story. It's worth putting on your radar. What's it called? I have it here.
Yeah,
Q into the storm. It's called HBO.
Okay, write that down. Q into the storm. It's a weird thing because, you know, I've been all fucking, ooh, spirituality, everyone, the world is great, spirituality, woo, we're all one. And then some, like, you know, rednecks from Canada, what the fuck, come at me with all they have by the power of words and memes and, like, hurt me from an ocean away. Oh,
well, you see, here that you have not learned your lesson about because you can immediately do something online and go, no, I don't want to do this, but you're already embedded, you're already there, you've already set and you go, and then you go, oh, I don't, you know, because you always go, I don't care what anyone on the internet says, whatever. Yeah, but 4 tweets too late, Spud. 4 tweets too late.
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
it's the don't send it first.
I've been so good. Like I haven't done anything like this in years. I haven't trolled anyone. Yeah. But I just couldn't resist when I saw his big fucking stupid stonecutter head. Just like, really don't like him. What's wrong with me? You know, he's probably a lovely person.
I don't know.
Actually, you know what? The podcast with him and Peterson, they do come across as decent enough fellas. Like, you know, it's just like he just whines with the wrong way. Because I know why. It's because he's not has this authority from nowhere. He's just like, it's his brother wrote the book. He didn't write the book. Like, who the fuck are you, like, to tell me what to believe about the world? That's my issue.
And it's the it's not just him. The thing that rubs me up the wrong way about him is the thing that rubs me up the wrong way with an awful lot of people is the absolute you know, I am right about everything.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, are you? Like, there's no room for doubt in your thing at all. No, I am right. And it's like, it's also I am right, and then I wasn't right about that, but I'm right about this. Well, you know, did we learn nothing from that last time? Nothing at all.
Yeah.
That's people in general. That you know, it's just it's easier to point that out. You know, I know plenty of people in real life who are like that. Never mind YouTube people, and it's amplified obviously by. Because, you know, it's just because you must be hard because you start playing a character, I think, like, or something, you know. When
that's what I'm saying. I think he's pandering. Yeah. I think he's pandering.
When you're such, like, something I was always very wary of in that is not doing that. And my kind of thing is that, like, how, you know, just try to be open and not. I don't really know, like. Don't know what I'm talking about half time, you know, but I don't have, I'm not trying to sell people on anything. It's just kind of going, well, you know, here's what I've been thinking about recently. Whereas someone like Pageau, is he knows what life is about, what his mission is and what his view of the world is. And he's selling you that in a sense. I'm not sell because I don't know. As soon as I find out, I'll fucking sell it. I'll tell you that. Straight on there pandering to everyone. Here you go. I have the truth. Buy it now.
His Etsy shop is already ready. All right.
It's already good. Yeah.
The Etsy shop is there. Yeah. It has all the banners. It's all done. He has the SEO even worked out, but he just has nothing to fucking sell yet. You know? Yeah. SaintTommie.com. It's just been sitting there for a couple of months. Yeah, good stuff.
Saint Tommie.Christ. It's a new one that they're trying to get up and running. Christos. Yeah. So yeah, the Four Devils, man.
Yeah, tell us about them.
So I always disliked the artwork for the Four Devils. It was not something I was ever into because I did it really, really quickly. And it was just kind of something, in a sense, kind of throw away that I did. I was an admin of CMG, which is Case Magic Group on Facebook, which was at the time, I'm not sure now, the biggest magic group on Facebook, particularly Chaos Magic anyway, and it's like 25,000 people in, back in the day when that actually was huge numbers. And that was after it had been deleted once and just had started again from scratch and had come back up. But it's like, as anyone who's ever been a member of CMG will know, it's the worst place on the planet. It's also the greatest place on the planet, but it's definitely the worst place on the planet. And but everyone's very proud of that. It's it's a badge of honour. But anyway, I had enough. I think it was 2 years something as admin, and I was, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of thing, but it was great, and I learned so much about people and the internet, and I'm pretty much impervious to any kind of trolling now, because anything that's said to me has been much worse has been said to me. But yeah, so I left and I kind of said, well, that's kind of a significant part of my life over. So it's like that was an awful lot of my day was made up of that, interspersed, over the day when you're an admin.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So I said, well, I'm going to do something with that kind of energy and put it into something else. So I did 4 devils, or 4 servitors. And the reason why I did it this way is because I remember Tony Robbins talking about his 30-day personal power challenge thing, where you listen to a tape every day for 30 days. And what he found was that people were going, yeah, 30 days though, yeah, could you make that, smaller? So he did a 7-day one, the thing. So I was going, right, so I have the 40 servants. Well, if I could, condense them down and crystallize them into something, even so it's just 4. So it was the whole thing of health, wealth, wisdom, and happiness. The kind of 4 pillars of the healthy, wealthy, wise. And happiness doesn't seem to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, which is, so I goes, well, I'll add the happiness thing. So I just kind of threw it out, did it, and immediately Facebook went insane with it. I went, I probably should have put a bit more thought into this, And some of the stuff was really, the correspondences just didn't work for me, and particularly Jardel, I did not like the artwork at all. I just never did. And then, of course, there was the Cranbach one where it was, I essentially stole the design from a photograph that I definitely knew. Like there was no question that it was, but it wasn't intentional. And if someone else said that, I wouldn't believe them, because it's very, very similar. But so that kind of put a dampener on it too. And then I redid the art, and it also looked like another of the guy's photos, and it was so strange. And he was super cool though about it. Like what was it? Kevin the Kid, that's it. And he was super, super really cool. And he says, no, just send me them, the prints, and I think they're great. And maybe if you want, put my name on it, or inspired by, or something like that. Like, absolutely cool, didn't care. But it just kind of, I don't know, just spoiled the whole thing. And I never warmed to them, and I never really got into. But people really did, and they became quite popular. And I suppose because they're so they're so well defined that you can't really It's not when you don't have to see if something like the Fixer where you go, oh well, what is the thing? It's like, no, this is for health. That's it. You know what it is. This is for wisdom. There's no kind of, it's very one dimensional in that kind of thing. So what I said I would do at some point was that I would redo the art and kind of in some sense make it a bit more pleasing to me. So I have done it. So this is an exclusive for the podcast, and I have to turn off my shitty background blur because they won't focus otherwise. Hold on. So this is Varman. So nice. The thing where, one of the things that I didn't like about his is that he had a plague mask on, and he was for wisdom. I was going, right, if he was the doctor, right, yeah, cool. Why wouldn't you have a plague mask? But it just didn't work. So what I went more with this time is kind of my love of forests and how they seem to know things. So it kind of have while it's the same kind of look somewhat, it's now a skull rather than plague mask, but it has all that kind of foresty ancient tree thing. When you look at a tree and you go, stuff, man, like there's some, you definitely know things. So that's that kind of the ancient kind of wisdom of the forest is kind of, that's where the correspondence. So then we have Harvin, which is the health. I didn't mind artwork so much in him, but I thought this came out better. There's better kind of closer. So he's given it's somewhat of an apple, somewhat of a fruit. So it's kind of a play on, because he's for health, giving you some sort of thing. But it's an unknown kind of a fruit, so it could be anything. So, but it's just more the. Of course, there is that kind of thing in it. I was kind of go, oh, now I may mix my things up again because Eris gives the apple and the all of that kind of stuff. And there's the Lucifer in the Garden of Eden, the apple and stuff like that. So. But no, it's the apple a day keeps the doctor away type thing. So then we have Jardel, which I much prefer, and so she has a pentacle, so very much earth based, that kind of element, and less cartoony kind of, even though it still has that kind of Tommie cartoony side, but it's less kind of, I don't know. It looks more like I spent more than 45 seconds drawing them. That's kind of it.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
And then the new Cranvock, which I really, really like.
Yeah, that's dead.
He originally was meant to have a heart, and I just couldn't get it right in the first one, and so I took it out. Like, if I was looking at my files of it, there is an outline of a heart there that just never made it to the end. So I'm happy with them. They're on the Patreon as well. I did lots of process junkie posts where, you know, I did stuff as I was drawing them. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, that the process, there's loads of posts there. And they're going to be coming out as prints. But I'm so there's so many things have gone wrong recently with technical stuff that I'm not what I usually do, because I had to take all my my store down, all my prints, because my printer just for some reason just didn't like yellow anymore. Just, you know, I totally had to sit with it for a couple of days, not a couple, well, a day and a half, and I had to recalibrate it, and I had to clean it all out or whatever. So I'm going to wait till I have them all printed, and then I'm going to put them on my store, rather than what I used to do is print on demand. And, you know, because I know is
there nowhere that you can get it done, like?
Oh, there is kind of thing, but I kind of like the whole kind of that I'm doing it in house or whatever. And I did do, like, I got the Witch print a couple of years ago done, and I got it printed off, and half of them are still sitting there. So, you know, it there seems to be a better energy around it to sell when I do them, rather than when I do a kind of an actual go to a printer and get him to do it. You know, there's a part of it seems, the magical part of it is my creation of it and putting it together, which is very woo-woo. It seems to work. So yeah, they'll be up in the next day or so. It'll be up for sale for patrons first, and then the general thing. And they're going to be, the new ones will be added. I'm doing updated version of the decks for the 5th anniversary of the 47s in Halloween. Just new, not the artwork's not changing. It's just like the box is going to be slightly different, but I'll be adding the new.
Burn, I hope.
yeah. Don't burn it. Yeah, that seems to have stopped. People don't do that anymore. That was a weird one. But it's kind of going, okay.
We're giving out to them. That's why. Stop burning Tommie's boxes. He spent ages designing it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll add the new artwork to the deluxe version of the deck, and there'll also be a limited edition or time limited edition of the deck, which will be the standard size deck in a cool box that'll have 4 devils as well as the same size cards, because people wanted them as the standard deck. And a lot of the artwork that I've done where I joined, you know, the 2 servitors, 2 47s together, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff, I'll do them as cards, just something just to kind of celebrate the 5th anniversary. So that's kind of, and if I get time, there's so much, there'll be an update of the grimoire as well, but that might happen after the 5th, because I'm not going to kill myself trying to get all this done, you know, kind of, you know, I mean, and it doesn't really matter in a sense. It'll be, if it's 2 weeks after Halloween or whatever it is, just, you know, get it done right rather than just done on time.
Yeah, of course, yeah. No, man, I really like the idea there of the ones that you put together. With 4 devils into the deck as well. That'd be good. People will fucking love that, like. Yeah,
I'm thinking of maybe doing a section on the grimoire and the updated one with the 4 devils. But the only reason why I don't want to is because I don't want, people already want to kind of put them together into the 47s, and I suppose, you know, why am I so hesitant about that? Just it's because I didn't like them. That's why. So maybe I liked them more, because the Brazilian version of the grimoire has a 4 devils section. So, and I suppose, and it gives me a chance now to, you know, insert that whole rant from the website about the fixer and why you shouldn't take out your eye and all of that. I can put things like that into.
But like, you could probably, I mean, I presume there are people already doing this. You can take the 4 devils and then put the other kind of 40 underneath them and say, right, which one does this correspond to? Maybe that one, maybe this one. And
yeah. Or they're saying that people ask me how do you use, you know, Cranvock in a divination, and my answer is I wouldn't. But I mean, it could still, you know, if it's divination, it could be health or happiness, or no, not health. It would be happiness or joy or bliss or something like that. But it's too, for me as a divination, it's too ill defined. Like, you have something like, there's more depth.
Too broad.
Yeah, like, I mean, the fortunate has it, like, there's a direction in that, you know, which isn't, you know, but it could be just because I haven't used them for divination. I mean, I'm sure I could have some insight into it, but it's just, I suppose, just kind of, again, not trying to assert my thing on these things, being that, you know, I'm just the conduit here, you know, and the more I try to assert myself on it, the less the they probably can become what it's like that, trying to write that song and then it's arrive and then you go, oh, well, no, I think it should be different. You go, no, that's the song. Just, leave the song the way it is. It's fine.
Nobody wants middle eights anymore, Tommie. Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
You ever see Peggy Sue Got Married from years and years ago? Nicolas Cage is in it, but a woman goes back in time and to her 20s before the Beatles, and she's her boyfriend is a musician, so she writes I love you, or she loves you, but he changes the lyrics. Oh, I really like the lyrics, but I change it to she loves you, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it's good. No, leave the song alone, man. Just leave it alone. I always think that. Don't change the yeahs into oohs if it's meant to be yes, So.
Of course. Great, man. Great. Looking forward to them coming out. That'd be great. People will go mad for them.
Well, hopefully, it would be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice. Like wouldn't it be so bad? Like people go, yeah. Now that I like them, people go, yeah, I'm not into it anymore. Yeah, you've ruined it, man. But the thing with that, if you prefer the old ones, then use the old ones. They're still there.
It's like tarot cards, isn't it? If you like the Rider-Waite deck, fucking use it.
Yeah.
If you like Crowley's one, use that. Whatever floats your boat, like. Except if they have cats. Jesus Christ, don't be dealing with that shit. Like.
There's one nice cat deck. It used to be on one of those websites where you can pick any deck and get any kind of a. But one of them, it used to be fairly accurate for me. This cat one, it goes, oh God, and I really dislike the artwork. But there's some, it always seemed to have good answers for me. So I wouldn't discount the cats.
Man, that's the whole thing with cats. If cats think you don't like them, they're all over you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Say this artwork, you didn't like it, so the artwork is like, I'll fucking show him. I'm gonna make him my bitch. This is what cats do. Cats their whole attitude in life is, I'm gonna make that prick my bitch, and that's it. That's all they do. Like they're just. I do have a soft spot for them, but only because I know what they're doing, and I respect it. I respect it that they think they're more powerful than we are, and a lot of times they are. They're mad animals. They're very strange.
Yeah. We don't have pet cats. We definitely have pet humans. That's just that's the nature of it.
Sure. I wonder if, I was saying this to you. It wasn't on the nose. It was typing it to you, writing it to you. It was about that thing that Eisenstein fella talks about. Like, you don't really know your influence in the world. Yeah. Having a clue. So, you could be sitting on this. I wonder, the thing you're talking about there with change the design of Four Devils here and changing the deck a bit and stuff. I wonder, did the Rider-Waite, and wasn't Yates involved with them as well? I wonder, did they have all these ideas about 2 years later or 5 years later, they're like, oh, I know what. Or were they just... But then again, if you read up on the amount of research and stuff that went into that deck, it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
And then I'm I get my packet and I'm like, I don't like it.
I don't like it. Yeah. That charity emperor sitting in shit. Clear all that stuff off that magician's table. We don't need any of that. Yeah. It's
just off the top of my head, I wonder, are there any of these decks that came out where people are just like, oh Jesus, I made a balls of that, but I can't change.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, it's the George Lucas syndrome, isn't it? You just constantly want to correct stuff and change stuff, and then learn from him. You just end up ruining it. That's what happens. Just leave it alone. That's why, when I say changing...
If Jar Jar didn't have that accent, though, it probably would have been all right. It was probably the accent. Was the accent with Jar Jar?
Well, no. I'm more talking about where he changed scenes in the original ones and, hand shot first and then change it back and all that kind of stuff. It's just leave it alone. I understand we have the technology now to do it better, but that's part of it is why Star Wars is what Star Wars is because you didn't, and you had to actually draw stuff out, that opening scene with the text is that drawn on the floor and on the car park and all that, that you just wouldn't do now, which is so what I'm saying, it's not the artwork of the 47 is definitely not changing. That I'm there is stuff I would change, but that annoys me, but I'm not changing it. That's what it is, it's just the box in the back and that just so. I remember one time a guy, and I understand this, he got a deck and he lost it, and he obviously was quite attached to it, and as people are to not just 47, so tarot decks or even books, there's a certain, you imbue it with your own, or there's something where it becomes a bit more than someone. And when he got another one, he says it just wasn't the same at all, and I couldn't mute. I just lost the interest in it, and it was like because he's trying to go, is it printed differently? It was the whole the enchantment was gone. That's literally it, So I understand it, but
mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mad, and it's. I suppose it can be. Even things that it can be ruined in retrospect. Like if you love a song and then, it gets used in a shitty ad or something like that, it can kind of ruin your life a wee bit. You know what I mean? Like,
what's that Bohemian Like You song? Jeez, fuck you, Vodafone. Fuck you.
but like they're so thankful for that. It's just they Vodafone promoted us and give us more money than our record company ever did, and got us on tour, and it was the. But yeah, like ruined the band essentially by. Oh yeah. Oh well. What were they called?
Dandy Warhols.
Yeah. Heroin is so passé. That was my favourite song in ours.
Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah. They were a decent band. They were kind of like a Sonic Youth type of thing, but a bit more poppy. And then it's the same that MGMT band. They're Australian, aren't they? That bloody song was everywhere for 2 summers there. Just on every single beer ad and every festival ad, and it's just lads. But isn't that the sign that you have a bad contract? Isn't that what that is? If your ad gets used, if your music is used a lot in an ad, doesn't that mean that your contract was shit?
I don't know. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's what I've heard. It means that you've just kind of given away all your rights, and
it wouldn't be. It would be more the publishing, wouldn't it? Because that would be the area. So yeah, it's like, why do you never hear a Beatles song in on in any ad, in any TV show or anything? Because no, they just say no. Because they don't need that, but like other bands. And I remember Eddie Van Halen talking about one of their songs got used in an ad, and they found out before it was going to happen. And your man says, well, listen, we can do this. We can use your song and give you the money, or we can hire someone who sounds, and play, and sounds a bit like David Lee Roth, plays a bit like you, and give them the money. Which you go, either way, this is happening. So, it's like, I don't know. You have to... I think you can stipulate in your publishing contract, though, that say if you're Paul McCartney and you're vegetarian, that, obladi oblada isn't used to sell, steaks or whatever. There has to be some sort of clause around that. But I don't know. It depends. What do you want the money? Or, it's a hard one.
Look, I mean, you can't blame Dandy Warhols. Well, first of all, I don't think they had much of a decision in it. But you can't blame them for enjoying the money and using it, going on tour and all like that. But it's just it's just us being morons, really. No, to get back to the thing,
back to the actual thing we were talking about. Yeah.
No, it's a funny thing because we tried to get the lads to watch the Smurfs there a while ago. Right. And compared to modern cartoons, it just doesn't hold up at all because it's so fucking slow.
Oh, right.
Compared to what the cartoons are the pace they're at now. And I showed Ghostbusters to the young lad there a while ago, and he fucking loved it. But he's only 5. I think he's a bit too young for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I don't remember how, because I know it's not scary, but it's
slime, I suppose, the green thing.
5, So I don't know. I think I need to watch more of them.
I would have been probably 6 or 7 when I think Ghostbusters, I think.
Yeah, we probably were that age. So I probably would have been his age when I was watching it. But there's one great one. I think I told you about before. Grizzly and Lemmings. It's on Netflix, and it's full of magic. It's ridiculous how much magic is in it. Like every episode, they find an amulet that does something, or they find a wand that does something, or the TV remote turns into this magic thing that stops time, and it's full of the mad magic like that. And it's
what's it called?
It's like an old. Grizzly Bear and Lemmings. It's a French-Canadian one. Sorry, it's French Canadian, and it's great. It's like an updated Roadrunner or Tom and Jerry. Just very very violent.
I'll add that
really
to the
violent.
list.
So it is. For the young fella, I think, and they're only like 7 or 8 minutes long, so you can watch a couple of them and
anything they past Paw Patrol, which is the current and only thing that the wee man watched, but he loves it, and so he ended up getting enjoyment just looking at how much he enjoyed it. God, I can word for word speak most of the episodes at this point, though.
It's not a bad one, in fairness. Paw Patrol, no, it's grand,
not the worst.
It's all right. Has his heart in the right place. That's what counts. Well, then we'll do this film.
Yeah. Okay.
Film.
the documentary that we are talking about this week is called 5MEO, or Some Doors Better Left Unopened. And it's about 3 guys who, instead of having a midlife crisis and buying a car or having an affair with a young woman, decide it's going to take drugs instead. That's about right, isn't that? That's about fair. It's like one Irish guy and 2 guys from London. That would be the guy's called Boris Jansch, so I'm sure there's either a Scandinavian or German kind of ancestry to him, but he definitely has like a London accent or whatever. And the Irish guy and Boris, so it's Frank and Boris, they're kind of in their early to mid 40s, and then the other guy Charles is 59, so he's a bit later. And he has had medical kind of issues before, where he had cancer and stuff, so he's worried. His worry going into it is the kind of, he has a medical thing, whereas the other guys, Frank says a great one, and he says, I'm just kind of a bit bored about who I became, and I think that's, all right, I can understand that. And Boris just seems to be up for, I'll take the drugs, that's fine, It's the 3 film directors, so and 2 of them, Boris and Charles, seems to have known each other, or at least met in real life before. Frank hasn't, but they all seem to know each other, so I assume it's a kind of, they're in the same online groups, or something like that. But he does make mention of it, that Boris and Charles are like an old married couple, the way they talk to each other. It's quite funny. You can download them to your computer. No, you can't. I'm telling you, I can.
Only people who know each other for a very long time talk to each other like that. He says something at the start. The Irish fellow says something at the start as well about having his fear of death, which I thought, you could be in for a bad time. You're going to take mushrooms, or you could be in for the best time ever, because it'll solve that riddle for you, But you're going to have to face it on the trip, and that's going to be
fun.
Hard. That's not fun. Man, I thought this was great. I thought it was good fun. It was a good mix between fun and the seriousness of it, because as they're coming up to take it's DMT, isn't it? Can we call it that?
Mm-hmm,
So as they're coming up to take the DMT, they're scared, like.
Absolutely, And, the very first thing they do is to go for a swim together, which sounds like that actually, like, how should we open this documentary? We'll go for a swim together and we'll do a bonding thing. But I understand it, if 2 of the guys that hadn't met before, then, get naked and jump into a river. That's the logic first step. And then decide, well, rather than going straight to licking the toad, which is what they think they're doing, to get the 5MEO, because you squeeze this particular toad and this stuff comes out of it, and the toad is not obviously happy about it. But that's
could you imagine if like honeybees could get high from squeezing our blackheads? That's what it's like.
I don't like it.
It's fucked up, man. It's really fucked up, and that's the juice of the universe. This is something that is supposed to reveal. That's why aliens come here.
My blackheads are the juice of the universe. An autobiography by Spud Murphy. Juice of the universe. Available now on Audible as an audiobook. Thankfully not read by the author, because he can't speak words in English proper way. There is a good bit at the beginning of this where they're kind of doing the talky head stuff, which is set up for the whole way through, but they're all kind of interviewing each other, and you can see that some of the opening shots are done at the end, because they're kind of going, I don't know how to explain this kind of thing, and particularly Boris seems to have his brain very much rewired, where he can't explain any of these things. But what I found interesting is that every time they do a talking head of Charles, he looks like a completely different person. The older guy, like he starts off looking old, and then he gets really young, and then it's like homeless Santa at the start. But like the quality of it's really good. Like it was great that the three of them, at any point could take the camera, and they know how to shoot things. It's edited very well. The music cues are really good. Color correction's great. Color correction, here we go. And it has the talking head stuff all look nice. It all has this kind of that cinematic quality to it that an awful lot of documentaries don't. The blurry background that everyone loves, that has all that. Whereas an awful lot of time you see in the talking head stuff, it's someone sitting at their in their sitting room with their beside the window, and you know the bookshelf placed in the background, just you know to make them intelligent, all that kind of stuff. But this one has like it's a really really good DIY feel to it. Like in that it feels made by these three guys rather than a production company, rather than a thing, but not in a kind of a. It's really well done. You know, it's not kind of thrown together. It's all the boxes, but it feels DIY in a really really good way. You know, it feels organic and it feels like it's these three dudes doing this. You know, rather than you know, like even in the Talking Head interviews, it's the other guys interviewing them. You know,
the other guys are interviewing them. Yeah.
You know, which is good.
Yeah, really good. I have actually written down filmed very well.
And in brackets, colour correction exceptional.
Tommie will say colour correction. There's something else that Frank said. Frank's really funny in it, so he is. He's really really funny.
He has his own YouTube and podcast, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Has he? Yeah. All right. Frank,
he seems to interview people about their hobbies. If you have a strange hobby, and then he interviews them, does like short films about it. Like some guy who's mad into Wim Hof or something like that, and goes and talks to him. So they're all filmmakers, so I assume they've all YouTube channels actually, now that I think about it. I just found his.
Probably so, but he fairly early on in it, he says, he starts talking about, he tries to explain the hardships in talking about the whole idea of self and no self, and he thinks that maybe doing the mushrooms or the DMT might be able to help him with that, you know. That's fucking shooting for the stars going into this kind of stuff. Most people go into it and just like they just want to do it for the experience, but like he's going and he's like, you know, I want to see what the fuck is this all about, like, but not in an aggressive way like that.
No,
it's just no, I know what the self is, I know what no self is, I know what the ego is, and all this kind of stuff. But he's just like, what's your man? Charles calls him a seeker. So I like that. I thought that was...
And you can tell that there's, without it being mentioned, there's years of meditation now. There's definitely, you know, he like, there's very quick kind of look at his bookshelf, and, you know, I am that is there. You know, there's kind of key texts interspersed with like how to make a movie books and stuff like that. So, you know, but it's not really mentioned. It's not really, I am, you know, trying to... It's not described in that way. It's just kind of, he's kind of puts himself forward as a normal kind of person, if you want. But every now and again drops things where you go, yeah, that guy knows what he's on about. Like,
oh, you know what? I found one bit that's filmed not well, and this is nitpicking. Did you notice it? The M50.
No.
So they show Frank driving down. Well, it has to be Frank driving because it's in Ireland. He's driving down a motorway, and there's a sign of the M50. And then the next scene, it cuts to Boris and Charles talking to each other in their car. In England.
Oh, right.
So
Continuity.
I saw the M50 thing. I was like, there's no English fellas. Well, not there's no English fellas, but these English fellas aren't driving on the M50, lads. You're not fooling me. Ha ha! I got you. You know. Yeah.
Unless they all did meet in Ireland for a meeting at some point. But
there are some meetings in it, because the bit where they go for a swim at the end, I think that's Killiney Beach or Killiney Head or something like that. Yeah, you know that long flat beach.
Oh yeah.
It's all stony, you know. And yeah, there was the mushroom stuff was I thought there was an interesting way of doing it, because like they know that, like, what's his name, Frank had done heavier stuff or psychedelics before, but the other two, Charles definitely hadn't. Boris didn't admit to it anyway. I presume he didn't, because his brain was kind of fried at the end of it. He
which is interesting, because he's the only one who said, I think I'm able for this. You know, he was going, I'm very strong-minded. I think there's, you know, I can get me. I was going like, you're falling apart, dude. You're definitely going to get it.
You know, in his head then, he was like midway through DMT and he's fighting fucking Toad from Mario going, no, you're not winning.
Yeah.
Toad takes off the hat, then there's a little princess underneath it.
They went with an interesting dose as well, which I thought was strange. And Charles does the standard heroic dose of 5 grams, but the other two lads go, oh no, I'm going to take 7 grams. Like,
it's 5 heroic?
Yeah, that's the Terence McKenna heroic dose. Yeah, 5 grams. Yeah, that's the 5 grams alone in silent darket. Enjoy 5 grams if you take it small. That's the one that. See, Terence McKenna's one.
Okay, how much is 3 handfuls?
But dried is different. You see, so you're talking about dried, So I mean, that's probably about a gram. That So,
All right.
yeah, well, without having seen it, like, but yeah. So Terence McKenna's one, 5 gram is hits the thing where it's not too much, so you don't lose your mind, like, but it's enough that you lose your mind, because you know you see that if you take less now, which there's a chance that you will battle it. And you will, you know, and that can lead to going in the battles. But if you get to the point where you just go, I just can't, you know, I can't stop this. Yeah, that, you know, so that he suggested 5 grams. So 7, like, I mean, that sounds like people have taken them before. And if Boris is saying he hasn't, it's an odd dose to take as a heroic dose. You know, it's going, well, if you know what the heroic dose is and you're taking 2 grams more. So, maybe not your first time, or just, you know, that thing. Oh, because he was saying, I don't think this is going to actually do anything at one point.
Oh, come on! How can anyone say that that amount of mushrooms isn't going to do? Isn't going
no,
to
but what
work?
I mean is maybe he was thinking that 5 isn't going to be enough. I don't know. I just thought it was not that it was odd. It was just that's noteworthy to mention that
really
the dosage.
No, it's like someone going to a rave and taking like 3 ecstasy pills, MDMA in America in one go. It's like, whoa, hold your horses there, man. What the fuck are you doing? You know, like, it's a lot for if you've never done it before.
And you can tell even at the mushrooms they're quite nervous. Although Frank doesn't seem as nervous as the other two, you can tell that Boris is kind that when he gets into the loop. I forgot all about that. And I was going, I forgot that was a thing that happened. I was going, oh no, Bilbo Baggins. It's like, because I mean, I've seen people in the loop, and it's well, first of all, it's funny, and then it gets really annoying, and then it gets a bit scary because you go, oh, hold on, did something break in this fella's brain? Yeah. So the loop, for people who don't know, is that you just play the same thing over and over again as if it's the first time that's happened to you, and it can happen in psychedelics in a room where everyone starts doing it, you know, and it's very hard to get out of it, like. But it's weird because it's like because I haven't been around people taking psychedelics in 25 years, whatever it is. But it was strange. Because that was a thing people talked about all the time. Oh, don't get caught in the loop. And it's just when I seen it, I went, oh wow, that's something I haven't thought about in years. And even having said that, reading, say, the Michael Pollan book and all the kind of different stuff I read over the last couple of years about psychedelics, it doesn't mention it. And I've kind of gone, maybe that's an Irish English to kind of a thing that we have.
No, but Paul Stamets talks about this. He was on Rogan and he was talking about
he did. Yes, he did, in the car. And it's the 2 lads in the car.
In the car with the camera. Camera's broken. Camera is broken. The camera is broken. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But so what's the way to get out of the loop?
Well, that's why you need a sitter, because the sitter can get you out of the loop.
Yeah, that's what I presumed it was for. Yeah, they'll guide you back, or here, put on some Pink Floyd, change the fucking
or whatever. Yeah, change the thing. Yeah, just interrupt the pattern. But they kind of let Boris loop for a while and see if he can sort it out. Yeah, because Frank is kind of. But I'm with Frank, and he's going, I don't want to do this inside. You know, I feel like I'm going to be closed in, and says he wants to go out, but then he kind of admits it's the reason I don't really want to go inside is because I know I'm going to have to start doing the work then at the, you know, of the introspection. Whereas if I'm outside with the trees, I can kind of be a bit more external. Well,
the only thing is about, like, if you're outside, it's like, make sure like you actually can't get out of outside. You know.
Sure, yeah, it has to be some sort of, or you have someone with you that's going to stay away from that road. You know, him that road.
Don't do what Spud did. Like, he went to the fucking biggest nightclub in Dublin.
Oh man, I don't know how you did that.
Scored the hot blonde girl. I have no idea how I did it. Like, no. We used to call her Michelle Carlsberg Boob.
I'm sure her parents are proud. So.
Do you remember the Carlsberg footballs you used to get with the six cans?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what we call her. Yeah, nice. All the lads were mad into her. I got off my head on mushrooms and kissed her, and I don't remember. I remember kissing her, but I don't remember ever talking to her. How it happened.
Does anyone else remember this stuff?
Did it actually happen? They'd be like, Spud, Michelle, how did you get Michelle? I don't know. I was just fucking looking at my hands going, I have 10 hands.
All my hands are Carlsbergs.
My hands are Carlsberg boobs. Anyway.
Yeah. So Charles is kind of quite reserved because.
What would you do if you were to do him now? Would you be outside? Because I really like the idea of being outside in your backyard and just like, wow, I can see the bird song. The
suggested thing is to be outside until you feel it's coming, say, or you know, and then for the intense first section, you know, alone, silent darkness, that whole thing.
Right.
And then after you've done the work, say, or whatever your plan is, then to go outside and when it's chilled a bit and you kind of then connect. But the actual, depending on what you want to do, if you're trying to do some sort of introspection or work on something,
I won't talk to God.
Rather than
I think you probably would too.
That's what I mean. So you go talk to God, then hang out with some trees. That would be probably the plan. And I would want to do the situation where if it was the three lads, I wouldn't want them in the same room as me. You know what I mean? I want to have my experience. I don't want to be worried about Boris or being, imagine, because I remember some guy coming up to me and he was on LSD and he's going, I'm getting a real bad buzz off you. And I go, what can I do about it? You know what I mean? Just go away.
You should have just went, that's because I'm a cop.
Yeah, that's because I'm here to arrest you. You're actually dead. I'm the coroner. Get in your coffin.
You're already dead. I'm here for your autopsy.
Yeah. Do you not know you're dead? Oh God, it's so easy to forget people. It's so horrible to do. But so I would say that go get an Airbnb or something, and everyone has their own room, and the sitter who's not taking anything sits in the sitting room, unless he's needed to leave people alone.
I don't know if I'd like to be alone, Tommy. I don't know if I could do that.
No, that's
in the room. But it's a weird way the way they've done it, because the two lads obviously know each other, and Frank knows them but doesn't seem to know them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you all sit in the same room? Because you don't really know each other well enough to get off your chops with each other, do you? But then again, I mean, I've taken yokes with people and they've become my best friends. While I was on them.
The essential nature of yoke stuff.
But that's the idea of ecstasy as well. You just love everyone. But with mushrooms, I don't know. It's just, how long, lads? I'm busy. I'm talking to herself. Shut up.
But that's it. Yeah, that's it. I want to be in. But again, after you've talked to God, then let's all hang out and have the fun when it's easing, or when you're on the flip side of it. But just could you imagine you're in the middle of trying to deal with something or talk to God or whatever thing you're in, and then Boris come up and going, oh, Bilbo Baggins, every 3 seconds. It's just like, come on, man, come on. Because you could even see and things like where Boris switches all the lights off, and Frank, can we not do that? You know what I mean? And I did in the middle of which I thought was really strange. Frank's obviously having whatever experience he's had, but he says, I'm going on the camera, and then starts eating crisps when you're off your head. What's wrong with you, man? You're eating the crisps, man.
He said it. Yeah, it was good. And this is gold. It's gold stuff.
Yeah.
Is this old? How old is this film?
No, it's 2019. It was filmed. It only came out last year, so it's.
What's it on? Amazon Prime?
No, it's on Vimeo. It's $10.99 on Vimeo.
That's obviously where I watched it. So I knew that. I was testing you.
Yeah, I did buy it and put it in our folder. So I mean, there you go.
There you go. One of them makes a great thing. He says, I don't remember who said it. He says it when they're doing the mushrooms. It's like getting a 3D view of the world, but you're not wearing glasses.
Yeah,
I thought that was class. Because did you see? I don't wonder. Did you see the video? There was a video on Reddit the other day about someone who was at a music festival.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
that was class.
That was mental.
That was so cool. Was it done on purpose though, or what?
It has to be. There's no way that. Well, to explain it for people, so we had those old blue and red 3D glasses, the old style ones, and he put one of the red one, is it, over his camera, and then looked at the lights, and it changes
the light show, and the light show just came alive, just like wow.
Yeah. Very cool. I was kind of going, is this fake? There was part of me that just couldn't fully be convinced by it. Because,
my experience of mushrooms were a little bit like that. A kind of, is it called synesthesia? Is that
yeah.
A little bit of that, just the colours were touchable, I suppose.
Yeah.
Bizarre, but amazing, Don't do drugs. If my children are listening to this,
Spud did all his drugs in a place where they're all legal, and you're allowed to do them. Same as me. I've only ever done them in the legal places. Certainly not in Ireland. Although mushrooms are only very, very recently actually Like, I mean, if you come out of a field with a bag of mushrooms, they're taken off you and you're told, stop being an idiot. Now, you're going, they're class A's, but with no use, no psychological use, no pharmacological use. Like, they're just bad. Like, of course, I mean, come on, they're being used in therapy, but that's what class A is. That there's no redeeming qualities to these drugs. But the big thing was if you're caught with dried mushrooms, that you had gone on to illegal thing. But now they're just totally legal. I think it's 2016 or something. After
it's not that long ago though. But,
after all the all the head shops that open up for all the the synthetic drugs, whatever. The country went, oh, hold on, we better close some loopholes and take away all the people's fun and sovereignty and autonomy and be a nanny state.
I get it with the synthetic stuff because, like, I know a fellow who died smoking synthetic weed. And, that's bad. That's bad shit. Like, evil stuff.
Yeah, but like, don't let mushrooms in it. That's kind of my
look, come on. I mean, I think everything should be legal. You know what I mean? And whatever.
Well, this is the problem though, that when you make something like the synthetic stuff or any of this illegal, you like, this is my whole thing. What people are asking me, like, say about vaccinations, and I go, like, about the fucking things I put in my body that I had no idea what I was doing. You know what I mean? Just go,
Here, what are you drinking? Guinness.
Yeah.
What's in that?
Yeah.
And love. Yeah. I'm drinking love.
Yeah, or taking some sort of medication out of a bag that was definitely up someone's arse at some point. You know what I mean? And you're like, grand, here's 20 quid.
Yeah, a lot of older people in Ireland are taking Xanax and all the whole time. They have no idea how bad it is for them and stuff. And that other one, what's the other one? Well, they're all type of benzos, aren't they? They are.
Mm-hmm.
Valium. I think all this stuff should be legal, so that you don't get fucking bad batches of it.
That's it. That was why so that's a regulation. Right? Because as soon as you legalise it, then it's like you've no idea what's going on. But if you have some sort of rules
branded like coffee, this is 8 strength heroin. This is 9.
Yeah. It's good for your asthma.
And then have a little dragon for the 10th one. Cocaine, you could have like what's his name, Wolf of Wall Street. He could code that one. He'd be number 10. Then have LSD with little beetles or something like that. But whatever. No, I think that's the way it should be done.
Or at least decriminalise all of it. And as a start.
Like, you see the way fucking the American states have made a fortune in money from the federal or for the tax revenue from them. It's just ridiculous. Why aren't we doing the same? And it's ridiculous here, man, where I am. Like, fucking 2 minutes down the road, if I cross the bridge, I can grow 2 plants. But because I'm on this side of the river, I can't.
Yeah.
I know it's a different country, but why it's fucking mainland Europe. Why isn't it all one? You know what I mean? I just don't get it.
Isn't that the whole thing? Well, I suppose, I was going to say of the EU, but like, I mean, they're not in the EU, are they?
They are, yeah.
Oh, are they? All right, okay, yeah.
It's just like, what the
fuck? Well, then that makes no odds.
It's ridiculous.
So to go back to the actual documentary. Anyway. So they have the mushrooms kind of chill out, and they have to do the talking head thing where they're going. I think in one way it makes them a bit more relaxed with taking the DMT, but also way more scared too. Like there's you can already see
way stronger.
Yeah, you can already see that Boris is kind of going, oh well, hold on, he immediately flips back into kind of, oh yeah, but you can tell there's something that's changed within him. So the Charles starts getting really freaking out because he wants to go and meet the guy when they start talking about taking the 5-MeO. They're going to go, I assume, not in England or Ireland to take this. That it's some sort of Netherlands or some.
It was Germany or Austria.
Yeah, or some
accent.
Yeah. And so Charles wants to go and actually, hang out with the guy for a while before he agrees to take this, and I can understand in one sense, it's like he wants to do the same where he wants to jump in a river with him, he wants to be on the same, and I can understand, but the other two guys are kind of going,
you want to hang out with a drug dealer? Is that what you want to do? Really? No. Come here.
And Franklin makes the point that he says that, well, we can just end the documentary here, we took mushrooms and that's fine, but let's, I vote to go and talk to. And there's kind of a bit more Boris getting pissed off at Charles because he's kind of, stop talking in analogies, will you? Just tell me what you feel like. It's like, I don't want to kiss someone unless they want to kiss me. What are you on about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's good. So they go off to.
Because Ollie is that his name?
Austria.
Yeah.
Ollie is your man's name, and he has the toads. He has 5 or 6 toads. Rita, Francesca. I didn't get the other names. There was one called Ringo.
Right.
And like he tells this, he's fucking brilliant. So he is Ollie. He's really funny, and but he knows his stuff too. Like he knows how to look after the stuff, after the lads, and. But he tells a story about how at the start, like he used to squeeze them out with a toad.
I know.
Like, no, they don't like that. So.
Yeah, they don't like it. So we're doing the synthetic one.
Synthetic stuff is the same.
He says, and he makes a point if anyone else tells you any different, then they're lying or they don't know what they're talking about. So right, okay, I don't know enough about it, but that okay. You know, he seems to know what he's on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, otherwise you would be squeezed now. You're told.
And he does a really
have enough of them.
Really good thing with because he has them like, and he could do it. He says Charles is obviously afraid of dying, having a heart attack. That's a big fear, and he goes, well, I do this with people in their 70s, if that's thing. And he goes, we usually do between 12 and 15 micrograms, whatever it is. And you can see Charles going, can I have 1 microgram? Whatever, you know, can I get away with not actually taking this? And Ollie goes, well, here we also, you know, we can give you whatever you want, but we're also here to give you what you came here for. So, you know, the dose is the dose. And seemingly 12 to 15 going by something else I read is the lowest dose that you would give. Spot. Not to have some, but it's kind of like it's an entry level. But I mean, there's so much bravado and thing around psychedelics that people go, you know, I took 100 grams of, you know, pure LSD or whatever it is. Going, yeah, what happened? Yeah, well, I'm in a mental hospital now, but I'm cool. So I don't know. I literally don't know enough about it. But by the one thing I read after the documentary, it says that's still a pretty low dose. I don't know.
Right.
But the other 2 boys are happy enough to take the recommended dose anyway. But you can tell they're terrified, and I understand the fear, and I was with them, and it's done so well. You know, talking heads cut in with the thing, and you start feeling nervous yourself as if you're about to take the thing. You know, so it's done really well. It's done really, really, really well because you're watching it and going, you know, I'm not fucking touching that stuff. No way. Yeah.
Absolutely not. There's no way I'd ever touch that stuff. But then at the end, you're like, would you touch it? Yeah.
I get a message from someone going,
how do we find this Ollie fucker? You know, what's his phone number? If you Google Austrian Ollie, is DMT Ollie, are we going to find him? You know, how much?
Spud sent me a message after watching it going, yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, it's too hard to make.
It's far too hard to make. Way too hard to make. You need equipment. You need beakers that are like $5,000 and shit. Like, fuck that. You know.
So
I can't even make cider from apples. I end up with fucking cider vinegar. So there's no fucking way I'm going to try and make it.
So the bit that's, I suppose, if you want to have a complaint about the documentary, is that the next bit, they can't really explain it in the same way they have done it, and so that's just the nature of it. I don't there's no fault in it. In, you know, like they're kind of, they talk about the process of taking it in a pipe and lying down and feeling nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden you're dead, practically speaking. And this initial wave is terrifying and horrible, and you know, Charles feels he can't breathe. Ollie just tells him, holds his hands, says just breathe. You know, you just disappear or whatever. Boris says he felt like he was back to being primordial soup goo. That it was just, and I thought that was. And he's going, I'm just going to say it. That's just how it felt. You know, do what you want with that. Frank seemed on both things seemed the most chilled out of all of it. Like he seemed to be able to, because he doesn't really talk about the first experience. He only talks about coming out of that experience where he kind of goes. And I noticed I started breathing again. I noticed, like he said, I started coming back into the physical body.
I've written down what he said here. He says, "Oh, I can talk. Okay, yeah, there's something coming out of this trap door. I can talk. I have a body. Woo!" There's another scene where he's like, "I said a shrug. It's a fucking weapon of mass destruction," he says.
Yeah. 5-MeO, DMT, WMD.
Brilliant. What? his kind of final thoughts on it were interesting because, you know, he says at the start, you know, he's afraid of death. He knows his stuff about duality, non-duality, ego, death, yada. But he says that, like, normally after an experience like that, he'd be saying to people, like, yeah, you have to do this. Like, you have to do this. And he was just saying, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But he says it in a way like, I got nothing from it. But
yeah, he's talking about it, like the best experience. No, the best experience I said, usually if something happens, I take something from it. You know, and I can present something or I can have a story ready. He says, I can take nothing from this. And that's brilliant. And I was going,
that's class.
Yeah, the words aren't quite getting, but I know what he's saying, you know. Yeah.
I think he was oneness, and he's just like, that's it.
There's a bit in it where he's asked, I can't remember the exact question, but he goes, and he just kind of looks and he just stares at the camera for about 30 seconds.
That was it. That was the question.
And it's like, and it's going like, so delighted to left that in because that was brilliant. But, you know, just you go, yeah, man. Yeah, that was really good. It kind of not. This sounds like I'm making a complaint. It kind of peters out a bit because they can't really talk about it, and you know, there's like, it just kind of goes. Well, I can't really explain it, and so you know, you kind of. I don't know. They go to 3 months later and they still can't explain it. You know what I mean? But it's kind of how has it impacted? And again, Charles looks like a completely different person again, and they're just kind of talking about it. And there's that kind of documentary shot of them all jumping together and all sitting down on the bench, which are, you know, good shots. But it's like, it's very much how do we close the meeting? How do we close this documentary? Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Really liked the three lads. I thought it was a great kind of idea. I thought that they all had separate reasons why they were doing it, and I think, and what I loved at the end of it, which is the whole thing about psychedelics, is that all of them would say, yeah, don't, not they're saying don't do it. It's like, but I'm not recommending this to anyone, and I'm definitely not doing it again. So there's no kind of, you know, you can't get hooked on psychedelics. You just can't. One, because if you take mushrooms tonight, tomorrow they're not going to work. There's an innate kind of a thing that, or a tolerance that comes up really quick. But also there isn't. It's like, I suppose, getting hooked in some sense, getting the shit kicked out of you or something. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's okay. I'll chill out for a while here. You know, I'll not. You know, I can only face so many fears. You get your questions answered, and then you don't have anything then for a while, do you? Maybe you come back in a year or two, and then. But I do know people, like, and I have met people who take LSD as party drug and have taken mushrooms as party drug, and they have fun, and you know, it's a completely different thing. But it's a completely different thing, and yeah, I don't like the party drugs. You know, I personally, but I mean, party with them if you want, man. If that's your buzz, you know, who am I to say?
I just didn't know. I was just given a super value bag with a load of mushrooms and a bottle of Yazoo milk, and here, Spud, take them. All right.
Right.
Now what are we doing? Oh, we're going into town. What? Yeah. We're going to a nightclub. I didn't even have ID. That's how young I was. I didn't even have my over 18 ID. I was over 18, but I didn't have any ID. And walking up to the bouncers, and I would start coming up on these fucking mushrooms, and I was terrified. So I was. I was walking up. It's a hard place to get into. It was a hard one. I don't know if it's still open, but it was this place that was always hard to get into. Like they stop everyone. Have your passport or anything. I fucking know. Yeah. And I stroll up, and the first bouncer stands up out of his chair, and I sidestep him. And then the second bouncer moves towards me. I sidestep him as well and just keep going straight on, looking like I fucking own the place.
Nice.
And the lads behind me are just like, Spud, you fucking baller. That was awesome. And so they give their IDs. But like, you know, 5 minutes later, I'm on the dance floor looking at my wavy hand. Fucking, look at the purple light.
My hands are penises.
Guys, can you see this? Can you see this? And it's literally just who's this crazy weirdo on the fucking dance floor at 9 o'clock, like. And then Michelle Carlsberg boobs shows up, and she's like, I'll have a bit of that. He's off his fucking head. And I don't really remember her talking to me at all. Maybe she just slapped a gob on me and just fucking That's abuse, man. I was abused while on drugs.
Yeah, you were happy about it a minute ago, though.
I didn't realise what happened. Shit, man. Yeah. I was used by a hot girl. Yeah.
So different from men and women in those situations. It's like so dramatically different. Like men, like, yay! Women, no.
Pieces are coming together. Yeah. Anyway, I was watching this. Up until the DMT part, I was going, I want to take mushrooms, I want to take mushrooms, I want to take mushrooms again, I want to take mushrooms again, I want to take mushrooms again. Then the DMT stuff, I was like, I'm not touching that. Yeah. And at the end, I'm like, I want to do that as well.
Same night. I'm going to take it all at one time. All of it.
But that's because I know what I do. I'd just be like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to talk to you and we're going to have it out and you're going to answer my questions and I'll answer yours and we'll be the best of friends, I promise. You know,
come to the scene and you just see Spud trying to get out the window. I need to get out the window. I just need to get out. There's more balls out here. We have to get Spud, come back. Just come back into the room. Come back. Step away from the lights.
Isn't there what do you call it? Some of the Reddit pages, shrooms page or something. Like you see people in there taking stuff beside lakes. I'm like, that's really not smart. You know. Like, what if you
one
fish?
thing, or I have to go swimming. Yeah. Well, I say, I don't know, just do it with someone, who's not taking them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have your sitter, spotter, friend, whatever you call them. But, I'd love to take a lot of mushrooms now.
I understand. Like, I'd love to take it now. Like, go walk around the forest too. And I'm like, don't take 7 grams and walk around the forest and then drive home. You know what I mean? Don't do that.
Crononos, How's it going there? How do we say your name, actually? Because
can you pronounce it properly for me?
With like a Saint Novenas, and I'm not one of them, man. I just gotta say, man. I think it's a C, Celtic C, the hard K. That's what we have. And he'd be like, dude, sit the fuck down and chill out, man. Listen to the mushrooms growing.
My name's obviously Pan. Jesus Christ.
Dude, mushrooms.
So right. There's a few other psychedelic documentaries that we could watch, but we'll split them up. We should probably talk about Fantastic Fungi at some point, because that's good too. Or maybe we could do a few of them together or something. But this one, to repeat again, is 5-MeO, or Some Doors Better Left Unopened. I'll leave obviously links in the show description. And definitely. Yeah, it's
good crack, and it's like an hour and 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's good fun, and it's a good mix of serious and fun as well. But quite a lot of fun. Frank is fucking hilarious, and Ollie as well. Jesus Christ, brilliant! Like, if Ollie had a fucking YouTube channel, people would be all over. He has that just stoner German or Austrian sense of humor, and he's like, he can be deadly serious, but like he's joking. He has that thing that they're very good at, the German sense of humor. Anyway. Yeah. Watch it. It's deadly. Take drugs. Don't take drugs. Take psychedelics. Take psychedelics. Yeah.
Only in a place where it's legal to do so, and safe and all that, and look after yourself. Look after yourself. And don't have nightmares. That's a crime watch.
Go to the post office off your head on 5 grams, because it'll all freak you out. Don't do it. Don't take the bus home either. That's what I did. Street lights, man. The street lights were alive, just like talking. So, I gotta get off this bus. I ended up sitting on a bridge.
Oh no!
Dangling my feet. I never tell you this.
Oh, no.
So, fuck it, I've gone too far now. I've only told a certain amount of people this. I sent it up.
Tell the world, man.
Tell the world. Harold's Cross Bridge in Dublin. You probably know it, do you? It's over the canal. It's a particularly high bridge over the canal, but like, the canal's not deep. What is it? 8
Oh, is this when someone comes up to you and tries to talk you out of it or something?
Yeah.
No, you did mention it. I didn't know it was tied to mushrooms, though. I thought it was just a standard night out with Spud.
Actually, you've heard it before then, so I'm not going to tell you this.
I'm not sure what episode it's on. If people haven't heard it before, do a quick one for people who don't listen to every single thing.
So I'm dangling there with my legs over the edge, and I'm just kind of like, la, 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 la. Next thing, this taxi driver pulls up. You all right there, bud? I was like, yeah. You're not gonna fucking jump, are you? I was like, oh, no, my man. I'm like, you'll fucking break your legs. I won't drown. Oh, brilliant. Such a Dublin taxi driver way of putting it, like, you know, and he felt sorry for me then.
So he got you in the car and brought you to a bigger bridge. A much higher bridge. Yeah, you'll walk here.
I only lived up the road up at where the church is from Harris Cross Bridge. So, like, you only, what was it, a kilometre, 2 kilometres or whatever. And, yeah, sound lad, yeah, fair play to him. Obviously thought this fucking young fella in an army jacket was going to fucking crusty fucking head on him.
Oh, fair, you know, and fair due to him. Fair due.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Jesus, fair play to him for doing something so nice, because, like, I could have been in trouble. You know, I could have been thinking about doing myself. Like, what a lovely fella, you know. But then I get in the back of the car and he probably knew then what was going on. But
started looking at you.
I just sitting there, fucking dangling my legs, loving life, just going, mushrooms are amazing. I kissed the girl. Ooh, Spud moved to Dublin. This is all working out. You know, little did I know. But anyway, good
although
times.
Spud, maybe you did jump that night, and all of this is a dream. Since you need to wake up, you've been in a coma.
I'm in a coma.
Yeah.
I'm in a coma in James's hospital.
With 2 broken legs.
That's
still.
which is worse. With 2 broken. Oh, God, let's get out of here before this gets madder.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.